I, 26F, have been living alone in my apartment since my dad passed away 5 years ago from pancreatic cancer. My relationship with my mom Tamara, 48F, has always been complicated. While dad was the warm, caring parent who came to all my school events and helped with homework, mom was more focused on building her career as a corporate lawyer. She would often miss important events in my life because of work commitments, and our conversations usually revolved around my grades and future career prospects rather than any emotional bonding. When dad was diagnosed with cancer, I expected mom to finally step up and be there for him, but she buried herself even deeper in her work. She claimed we needed the money for his treatment, but dad's insurance covered most of it. I was in my final year of college then, and I had to drop several classes to come home and take care of him because mom was too busy at work. She would come home late, barely spend time with dad, and leave early the next morning. After dad passed away, mom went through a complete transformation. She suddenly started taking vacations, joined various social clubs, and began going on dates. Initially, I was happy for her because dad had always said he wouldn't want her to be alone if something happened to him. She started dressing differently, got a new haircut, and seemed more relaxed than I had ever seen her. Last year, she mentioned she was dating someone named Philip, 52M, a successful businessman who owned several car dealerships across the state. I was busy with my own job as a software developer and didn't pay much attention to her dating life. She never insisted on introducing us, and I never asked about meeting him. In hindsight, I should have been more curious about why she was so hesitant to introduce us. 3 months ago, mom called me, sounding more excited than I had heard her in years. She announced that Philip had proposed during their vacation in Hawaii, and they were planning a December wedding. She talked about how wonderful Philip was, how well he treated her, and how his family was excited to welcome her. I was genuinely happy for her because despite our differences, she deserved to find love again. Everything was fine until last week when mom finally showed me some pictures from their Hawaii trip. She was scrolling through her phone, showing me the proposal pictures, when I saw him, Philip, standing on the beach with his arm around mom. I felt like someone had punched me in the gut. Philip wasn't just any businessman, he was Mike's, 28M, father. Mike and I had dated for 4 years throughout college. We met in freshman year, and everything was perfect. He was charming, ambitious, and our families seemed to approve of the relationship. We had even started discussing marriage in our final year. Mike would often talk about his dad, how close they were, and how Philip had built his business from scratch. I never met Philip back then because he lived in a different city, but I had seen plenty of pictures. The relationship ended devastatingly when I discovered that Mike had been cheating on me with my best friend Emma for over a year. Emma and I had been friends since high school, and she was the one who helped me through my dad's illness. Finding out about their betrayal broke me completely. I had caught them together at Emma's apartment when I went to surprise her on her birthday. The worst part was that many of our mutual friends knew about it but never told me. The breakup sent me into a deep depression. I had lost my dad, and then my boyfriend and best friend betrayed me in the worst possible way. I had to seek therapy and was on antidepressants for almost a year. Mike tried to justify the affair by saying we had grown apart during my dad's illness, and Emma made some excuse about how they couldn't help falling in love. So when I saw Philip in those pictures, everything came rushing back. Mom noticed my reaction and finally admitted that Philip had told her about Mike and me a month after they started dating. She deliberately kept this information from me for almost a year, claiming she didn't think it was relevant since Mike was married and living in a different state. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Not only did she hide this crucial information from me, but she also expected me to attend her wedding where I would have to face Mike, his wife, who might be Emma, and his entire family who probably knew about how he had cheated on me. Many of them had even sent me sympathetic messages after the breakup, saying they were shocked by Mike's behavior. I told Mom I wouldn't be attending the wedding. She immediately got defensive and accused me of trying to ruin her happiness just because my relationship with Mike didn't work out. She said I was being immature and selfish, and that I should be happy that she found someone who makes her feel young again. My younger brother Tom, 24M, sides with Mom. He thinks I'm overreacting because he never liked Mike anyway and doesn't understand why I'm making such a big deal about this. But Tom was away at boarding school when everything happened with Mike and Emma, so he didn't see how badly it affected me. Mom has been calling and texting constantly, saying she won't be able to enjoy her special day without me there. Philip even called to apologize for not being upfront about everything earlier, but in the same breath, he said I should put the past behind me and attend the wedding for Mom's sake. I've blocked everyone except Tom and asked him to tell Mom I need space. I don't think I'm being unreasonable here. She knew about this for months and chose to hide it from me. Now they're all trying to emotionally manipulate me into attending this wedding where I'll have to face the people who caused me so much pain. Ida for standing my ground? Update 1. It's been 3 weeks since my last post, and the situation has escalated far beyond what I expected. After I blocked Mom and Philip on my phone, they started showing up unannounced at my workplace. Mom would wait in the lobby, trying to catch me during lunch breaks. It got so bad that my team lead noticed something was wrong and I had to explain the situation to her. She was understanding enough to let me work from home for a few days. They didn't stop at my workplace. They started showing up at my apartment too. I had to explain everything to my building security and specifically request them not to let Mom or Philip in. One day, I found a long handwritten letter from Mom in my mailbox, talking about how much she missed me and how she needed me on her special day. She wrote about how she had always imagined her daughter would be by her side when she got married again. Tom kept trying to mediate between us. He would call me every day, telling me how Mom wasn't eating properly and crying all the time. He said she regretted not telling me sooner and just wanted a chance to explain herself. After 2 weeks of constant pressure from Tom, I finally agreed to meet Mom for coffee at a cafe near my office. When we met, Mom looked terrible. She had lost weight and had dark circles under her eyes. For a moment, I felt guilty, but then I remembered how she had hidden everything from me for months. She started by apologizing for not telling me about Philip's connection to Mike earlier. She said she was afraid I would react exactly like this and she would lose her chance at happiness. Just when I thought we were having an honest conversation, she dropped another bomb. She wanted me to be her maid of honor. According to her, it was tradition for the daughter to be the maid of honor at her mother's wedding, and she couldn't imagine anyone else in that role. When I immediately refused, she got angry again and called me childish, saying I was punishing her for something that happened years ago between me and Mike. That's when she revealed something that made my blood boil. Apparently, Mike had reached out to her after finding out about my reaction to the wedding news. He had offered to skip the wedding so that I would feel comfortable attending. Initially, I was surprised by this seemingly considerate gesture, until Mom explained the real reason behind it. Emma, my former best friend who Mike had cheated on me with, was now his wife. Not only that, but she was 7 months pregnant with their first child. Mike didn't want to attend the wedding with his very pregnant wife because he knew it would upset me more. The fact that he was still with Emma, and they were starting a family together, brought back all the pain and betrayal I had worked so hard to overcome. I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of the situation. My mom was marrying the father of the man who had cheated on me with my best friend, and now they were all trying to manage my feelings like I was some kind of inconvenience to their perfect family union. I left the cafe without saying another word, but the drama wasn't over. Later that night, I received a message on Instagram from a new account. Emma had created a new profile just to reach out to me since I had blocked her everywhere else years ago. She had written a long, detailed message about how sorry she was for everything that happened in college. According to Emma's message, she and Mike were truly in love and hadn't meant to hurt me. She wrote about how guilty they both felt about the way things ended, and how they had wanted to reach out many times but thought it would be better to give me space. She said they had both grown up a lot since college and hoped I could find it in my heart to forgive them. She ended the message by saying she hoped I would attend the wedding for my mom's sake, and that she would make sure to keep her distance if I did. Reading that message made something snap inside me. The audacity of these people to act like I was the one being difficult. They had all lied to me, Mom about Philip about knowing who I was, and now Mike and Emma trying to play the mature, considerate couple. I was tired of being made to feel like I was overreacting. So I did something I probably shouldn't have. I made a detailed post on Facebook, tagging Mom, Philip, Mike, and Emma. I exposed everything, how Mom and Philip had hidden their relationship from me, how Mom had kept his identity secret for months, and how they were all now trying to manipulate me into attending this wedding. I included screenshots of Emma's message and detailed the history of her affair with Mike. The post went viral among our friends and family within hours. Mom's phone started blowing up with calls from her friends and colleagues who were shocked that she would hide something like this from her daughter. Some of her closest friends, who knew what I had gone through after Mike's betrayal, were particularly judgmental about her decision to marry his father without telling me. Philip's family started giving him grief about not being honest from the beginning. His sister, who had been especially kind to me during my relationship with Mike, commented on my post saying she was disappointed in her brother's behavior. Tom called me later that night, saying I had gone too far with the Facebook post. He said I should have handled this privately instead of airing our family drama on social media. But I disagree. They all try to manipulate me in private, so why shouldn't I expose their behavior publicly? Maybe now they'll understand why I can't just get over it and attend this wedding. Update 2. 2 months have passed since the Facebook drama exploded, and the wedding is now just 2 weeks away. What I'm about to share has completely changed everything I thought I knew about my family. After my post went viral, I received a private message from my dad's sister, Aunt Linda, 50F. We hadn't spoken much since Dad's funeral because she moved to Australia for work, but she had seen my Facebook post through mutual friends. She said she had been carrying a burden for years, and after seeing my post, she felt I deserved to know the truth. According to Linda, Mom and Philip didn't just meet last year like they claimed. She had seen them together at the Grand Plaza Hotel 6 years ago, when Dad was still alive but very sick with cancer. She was there for a business conference and spotted them having an intimate dinner at the hotel restaurant. At first, she wasn't sure it was Mom because she was dressed very differently from her usual corporate style, but she clearly saw them holding hands and acting like a couple. Linda said she had taken a few discreet photos that night because something felt off, but she never showed them to anyone because she wasn't completely sure about what she had seen. She didn't want to upset Dad with suspicions when he was already fighting cancer. After seeing my Facebook post about Mom and Philip, she finally sent me those photos. The pictures were grainy but clear enough. There was Mom, wearing a red dress I had never seen before, sitting close to Philip in a dimly lit restaurant. There were several photos taken over what looked like a few hours, including one of them leaving the restaurant together. The timestamp on the photos showed they were taken 2 months before Dad passed away. I hired a private investigator because I needed to know the full truth. It took him 3 weeks, but what he uncovered was devastating. Bank statements showed regular payments from a joint account in Mom's name to the Grand Plaza Hotel going back 7 years. There were also records of weekend trips to nearby cities during times when Mom had claimed to be at legal conferences. The investigator even found old social media posts from Philip's business trips that coincided with Mom's supposed conferences. They had been carrying on an affair for years, even before Dad got sick. All those times Mom said she was working late or attending legal seminars while I was taking care of Dad, she was with Philip. When I confronted Mom with this evidence, she broke down completely. She admitted that she and Philip had been seeing each other for 7 years. They had met at a law conference where his company was a sponsor. According to her, she had ended things with Philip when Dad was diagnosed with cancer, but they reconnected about a year after his death. She begged me not to tell anyone else, especially Philip's family. She said it would ruin everything they had built together. She tried to justify it by saying she and Dad had grown apart years ago, that they were staying together just for Tom and me. She claimed she had found true love with Philip and deserved a chance to be happy. I was disgusted. While Dad was fighting for his life, thinking Mom was working hard to pay for his treatment, she was having romantic dinners with Philip. All those nights I spent alone with Dad in the hospital, all those times he asked for her, she was with her lover. But the worst revelation came when I started going through Dad's old emails. Tom helped me hack into his account because we remembered him mentioning something about keeping important documents there. We found several draft emails to his lawyer from around the time he was sick. In these emails, Dad wrote about suspecting Mom was having an affair. He had noticed changes in her behavior and found some suspicious receipts. He was planning to change his will because of this, but he died before he could make the changes. Reading those emails broke my heart all over again. Dad knew, or at least suspected, what Mom was doing. He died carrying that pain, probably trying to protect Tom and me from the truth. Every time I think about how she let him die while carrying on with Philip, I feel physically sick. Tom was just as shocked as I was. He had always defended Mom, thinking she was just devoted to her career, but now he finally saw her for who she really was. We spent hours going through Dad's emails, trying to piece together what he knew and when he knew it. There were also some emails to his brother about possibly divorcing Mom, but he never sent them. The truth about their affair explains so much: why Mom was so hesitant to introduce me to Philip, why she kept his identity secret for so long, and why she's been trying so hard to manipulate me into accepting their relationship. She's not just marrying her new love, she's marrying her affair partner of 7 years. Update 3. It's been 2 weeks since the wedding was supposed to happen, and everything has fallen apart in the most dramatic way possible. I say supposed to because the wedding never took place. Here's what happened after Tom and I discovered the truth about Mom and Philip's affair. Tom and I spent several days gathering all the evidence, the photos from Aunt Linda, the investigators' reports, Dad's emails, and even some old credit card statements we found in Dad's study showing Mom's hotel expenses. We created a detailed timeline of their affair and how it overlapped with Dad's illness. 3 days before the wedding, we called a family meeting at our house. We invited Philip's entire family, including his ex-wife Patricia, 50F, Mike, Emma, and all their relatives who were in town for the wedding. Mom tried to stop us, but Tom threatened to expose everything on social media if she interfered. When everyone gathered, we presented all the evidence. We showed them how Mom and Philip had been seeing each other for years before Dad's death, including during his battle with cancer. Patricia, Philip's ex-wife, completely broke down. Apparently, Philip had blamed their divorce on her emotional distance and inability to support his ambitions. Now she knew he had been cheating on her with Mom the entire time. Mike's reaction was unexpected. He stood up, looked at his father, and said he finally understood why Dad had been so understanding about his affair with Emma. Philip had normalized cheating so much that Mike grew up thinking it was okay to betray someone who loved you. He then turned to me and posted a public apology on Facebook, acknowledging how his parents' behavior had influenced his own moral compass. The wedding was called off that same day. Philip's sister Mary announced that she was pulling her financial support for the wedding. She had been paying for most of it, and most of the guests canceled their attendance. Philip tried to do damage control by offering to postpone the wedding, but by then, the truth had spread through our entire social circle. Mom lost most of her friends, especially those who had known Dad. Her law firm's partners called her in for a meeting because some clients were uncomfortable working with someone who had displayed such questionable ethics. She's now on an indefinite leave of absence. Philip moved to Florida after his family cut him off. His business partners bought out his share of the dealerships because they didn't want to be associated with the scandal. Last I heard, he's trying to start a new business there, but his reputation followed him. Some of Dad's old colleagues from the community college where he taught reached out to Tom and me. They confirmed that Dad had discussed changing his will with them. They're now helping us build a case to contest certain parts of Mom's inheritance, particularly her claim to Dad's pension and life insurance. Mom still sends long emails to Tom and me every few days. She talks about how sorry she is, how she never meant to hurt Dad, and how she wishes she could take it all back. She claims she truly loved Dad but was confused and lonely. Tom blocked her after the third email, but I keep them all in a folder as evidence. The most satisfying outcome was that Mike and Emma's perfect little family image also crumbled. Emma's parents, who had justified their daughter's affair with Mike, were horrified to learn about Philip and Mom. They finally acknowledged how their support of Emma's relationship with Mike had enabled a cycle of betrayal. Tom and I are selling Mom's share of Dad's house. We're using the money to start a scholarship in Dad's name at the community college. The scholarship will support students who are caring for sick parents while trying to complete their education. It feels like a fitting way to honor Dad's memory and help others in similar situations. Mom recently tried to give an interview to a local paper to tell her side of the story, but we had our lawyers send them all the evidence we had. They ended up running a story about how affairs impact families across generations instead. Sometimes people ask if I regret exposing everything and destroying so many relationships. I don't. People who betray their loved ones deserve to face consequences, no matter how long it takes for the truth to come out.